Good evening, student. I am SK sir. Today, I am going to discuss on topic atomic mass. Atomic mass, it is the sum of the number of protons and number of neutrons that present in the nucleus of an element. It is represented as capital letter A. Now before this we learned about atomic number. If we take example of carbon, now we have denoted just below it Z, that is denoted as number of protons as atomic number, and it is denoted as A. It represents as the atomic mass. Now A, that is represented as the symbol for atomic mass, whereas Z is represented as symbol for atomic number, and carbon, it is a symbol of element carbon. We know that A, that represent the atomic mass, that means A is equal to proton plus neutron, like atomic mass A is equal to number of protons plus number of neutrons. We have to derive. Now if we calculate n, then A minus Z, or you also write it A minus P, like this. If carbon, we take an example where Z of carbon is 6 and A of carbon is 12. Now we know that Z of carbon is 6 and A of carbon is 12. Now we have to calculate E, that means number of electron, P, that means number of protons, and N, that means number of neutrons. Now we know that Z is equal to P. So if Z is equal to 6, then P is equal to also 6. Then we know that number of proton plus number of electron is equal. So P is equal to E. If P is equal to 6, electron also 6, then we have to calculate neutron. For this, we have to reduce A minus Z. So A of the carbon is 12 and Z of the carbon is 6. So we deduce it. Number of neutron is 6. So we calculate it 6. Now some example for practice as deriving number of electrons, number of protons, number of neutrons from elements like nitrogen, sodium, aluminum and calcium. So first of all we have to write Z of the nitrogen and A. So we know that Z of nitrogen is 7 and A of the nitrogen is 14. Like this, sodium is also Z of sodium is 11 and A of sodium is 23. Aluminium 13 and A of aluminium is 27 and calcium Z of calcium is 20 and A of calcium is 40. Now we have to derive number of electron, number of protons and number of neutron from these given elements. Now first of all we derive nitrogens. Now we know that Z of nitrogen is 7. So Z, we know that the number of proton, so Z is equal to number of proton. If Z is equal to 7, then proton is also 7. We know that number of proton is equal to number of electron is same. So if proton is 7, then electron is also 7. In this way, we have to derive neutrons. Now we derive it. Number of atoms as atomic numbers. Number of protons 7. Number of electrons 7. Last, we have to derive neutron. We know that neutron is equal to A minus Z. If A of nitrogen is 14, then Z is 7. So we have to reduce and we get it. The neutrons, number of neutron is 7. In this way, we derive Z as atomic number, P the number of protons, E the number of electrons and N the number of neutrons from nitrogen element. In this way, we derive these given elements. Now again we have to derive it. Now sodium, we know that Z of sodium is 11 and A of sodium is 23. First we have to derive number of protons and electron. We know that Z is equal to P. Atomic number is equal to number of protons. So if Z is 11, then number of proton is also 11. Now we know that number of proton is equal to number of electron. So number of proton is 11, then electron is also 11. Now we have to derive number of neutron. We know that number of neutron is equal to A minus Z. Then we know that A of sodium is 23. Reduce 11 number of atoms. So we have to calculate it. The neutron of the sodium elements. In this way we derive it number of protons, number of electrons and number of neutrons from given sodium elements. We are providing practice for evaluating yourself number of Z as atomic number, number of A as atomic mass, number of protons, number of electrons and number of neutrons from given elements. So if we practice regularly, then you should make yourself very perfect and you can derive number of Z, A, number of protons, number of electrons and number of neutrons from any given elements. If you know Z or A of any element. Thanks for watching.